All right. Good morning, kids. How is everybody doing? I hope you're all doing all right. I have my coffee. I hope you have yours too. I'm dealing with something right now, so if I get slightly distracted and have to reply to text messages or whatever, uh, just so you know. Like I was saying, I just got the reply that I was expecting here. So just work stuff, work related stuff that I need to just pay attention to make sure everything's kosher. So welcome to another Abyss. This is, of course, your host, the Eternal Abyss. How's it going? I want to say hello to everybody on all the various platforms that I'm on. Of course, Bitwave is still wonky and down, so you won't be able to see the video on Bitwave. But I want to say hello to everybody that's on there that may be in the chat at least, because they're having some technical woes, I suppose, and they're getting the server situated. So once that's situated, we should be able to stream back on Bitwave. I want to say hello to everybody on all the other platforms I'm on, though, at the same time here. So hello to everybody on YouTube, Periscope, Float.app, DLive, and Twitch. Hi. How you doing? So I mean, I guess we can dive right into it. I'm late. I know I'm late. But that's how it goes. And I don't really have a lot of stuff that I want to talk about today anyways. So I guess it's kind of apropos that I'm starting a little later, because there's really only a couple major topics that I've seen in the news that are worth discussing in my view. One thing is this big news item that I've seen here is that you have a Biden executive order that basically makes transgender surgery free for military. So your taxpayer money, I mean, we're going right into the big meat and potatoes of a discussion right at the beginning of the stream here. But your taxpayer money is being used for people to essentially mutilate themselves, to have an elective procedure done to them, okay? Because this is what it boils down to for me. Honestly, it doesn't even matter that it's transgender, like it's a sex change operation or procedures or medicines or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I, as a taxpayer, should not be paying for elective surgeries to the military. That's it. I think we can all agree that if a surgery is not necessary for the survival of someone, there's not a medical condition that requires it, and it's not necessarily even survival. It may be a complex fracture in an arm or something like that. If it's something that requires surgery, that is a legitimate medical reason for it. Fine. Use my taxpayer money for that. This is not a legitimate medical reason. Simple. This is elective. This is something that someone wants to do because they feel whatever they feel. I'm not paying for it. This should be challenged in the courts. I don't know if there's going to be anybody that's going to do that because, unfortunately, we're surrounded by cowards and pussies and people that would much rather rail on social media, calling social media platforms anti-Semitic when they don't know jack about them. We're going to talk about that too. Greg Abbott, that colossal cunt. We'll talk about him as well. But that's what I'm talking about, is that the focus is so wrong. And on top of that, you have here and I told you this was going to happen too. They're going after your guns. They're going after the Second Amendment. The House just voted to pass a bill on major new gun control laws, with 7 Republicans joining the Democratic colleagues. These traitors. This is my whole point. There is nobody that can be trusted. Not that I placed a lot of trust in politicians to begin with, but I had this at least minor hope that these fucking morons that are in government, that claim to be conservative and claim to be Republican and claim to be, to uphold the Constitution, would actually fucking do it. If you tell me I swear to uphold this, I try to take you at your word. I try to take it at face value. But this is happening now. And nobody wants to acknowledge this. This is the thing that pisses me off more than anything. Nobody wants to acknowledge this. You have people like Trump that supports the Republican Party. You have all these people that are just like business as usual. Okay, yeah, well, we'll try and primary them, all these influencers, like, I think Pobosiak is one of them, or Matt Couch, and, I don't know, I think Steven Crowder even says stuff like that. You have these influencers and YouTube celebrities and political pundits that are like, oh, we'll just primary them. Oh, we'll just win in 2020. You're not going to fucking do that. Because even if you primary who's in there now, all you're doing is replacing people with the same shit. It's not changing anything. These people are going to use Trump's name, they're going to use his support to get into office, and they're going to do the same shit as they did before. Because there's no consequence to doing otherwise. There's no consequence to doing otherwise. This is a period of time, and I don't think people really realize this. I say this a lot, and maybe people think I'm just saying it because I'm pissed about what happened in the election, or I'm saying it for hyperbolic reasons. No, I want to be very clear. When I say that this country is dead, it is dead. When I say that they're coming after everything, they're going full tilt to excise conservatism from the United States and go full globalist. They are doing that right now. They are doing that, and nobody is doing shit about it. People are complaining about gas prices, which they have legitimate reason to. But, oh, yeah, that's really going to do something. That's really going to do something. Complaining about gas prices, that's really going to tell them, show them. That's really going to tell them to stop doing what they're doing. We're going down a very, very bad road here in the United States. Or ex-United States, as if you want to be more accurate. We're going down a very bad road. And these executive orders that he keeps doing, he's basically governing by dictatorship here. A dictator governs by executive order. You have these people that are going absolutely nuts because they probably figure that they're going to lose their majorities in the midterms. Even though I don't see how, since they can just cheat with impunity apparently and nobody gives a shit about it as well. And who has to take the brunt of it? You. You take the brunt of it. You, the taxpayer. You're the piggy bank that they keep putting their hand into. You're the wallet that they keep pulling money out of. You're the sucker because you're not doing anything to stop them. And I know how some people listening to this may go, well, what are you doing to stop them? What are you doing to take action? What are you doing to do anything about it? Well, I have been trying to figure out what would be a good strategy to try and combat this sort of thing. I don't have a large audience, so trying to push this idea and pushing conservative values like some other platforms and some other influencers, they have large platforms where they have large audiences that give them a platform for which they can express these ideas, and that gets pushed throughout society, and maybe long term that can do some good. Maybe. Short term, I'm at a loss, honestly. Short term, I'm at a loss. I don't know what the solution is. Excuse me a second. Okay. Sinus issues as usual. I don't know what the solution is, honestly. I wish I had a solution. I wish I had an answer for people, and I've been thinking a lot about this, and I'm trying to think what is a solution that does not resort to storming the castle, because that's not a viable solution. Because there's nothing inherently wrong with our system. It's that people have broken that system, and people have abused that system, and people have warped it into something evil. They have warped it into something disgusting. They're using it against its own people. That's the problem. So I don't think, especially, I mean, that they know they're in the wrong. They know that they're in the wrong on this. They know that they are really, really, really firing up the embers of resent and anger in this country. They know that what they're doing is absolutely against the Constitution, against the oaths of offices that they swore. They know this. They wouldn't be fortifying themselves behind wire and barbed wire and fences and National Guard if they didn't know that they were pissing off some very angry people that were already angry, and they keep pissing them off more and more and more. It's pretty obvious to anyone with a pair of eyeballs. So Anyways, yeah. So I'm at a loss, and I don't know what the solution is. And I wish there was a way to purge government of these cunts, basically, of these corrupt individuals. To me, like I said, I mean, to me, it's over, in the sense that, to me, this country is dead. The damage that these Democrats have been doing for all this time, and Republicans, it's not uniquely Democrat. The Republicans are equally responsible. But the damage that these politicians are doing, that have been doing, they're currently doing, and they will do to this country, there's going to be nigh an impossibility here of recovery. It's nigh impossible. I mean, you're going to need a fucking miracle, in my view. You're going to need a fucking miracle to bring this country back to a state of sanity. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get bad. So, and on top of that, you haven't even had, grandpa pedophile with dementia here even do a single conference in over 50 days. It's over 50 days now since he's been president. Not a single press conference on his own. And whenever people want to ask questions, they cut off feeds or they whisk him away. I mean, this is ridiculous. We are living in a clown world. And everybody's just fine with it, apparently. I don't know. Maybe I'm impatient. Maybe I need to see some action now instead of waiting for procedural crap that happens in the courts or whatever for years and years to come, which can be just easily ignored, and there could be plenty of miscarriages of justice. I have no trust in the legal system now. I didn't have a whole lot to begin with, but I had at least a modicum thinking, okay, Supreme Court, they can screw up, but they can also reverse some of their screw ups like they've done in the past. Well, I guess not. I guess not. I don't know. But here we are. Here we are, and your taxpayer money is being used for stupid bullshit like transgender surgery. Hope you like this new brave America. Get used to it. It's going to get worse and worse and worse, I promise you. It's gonna get, and you know what the problem is too? This is the thing. They're gonna try and demolish the Second Amendment. They're gonna try and confiscate guns. They're gonna do that. I promise you, they're gonna find a way to do that. And you know what the saddest part is? All these people that talk about Second Amendment, all these people that talk about free speech and First Amendment, all these people that talk about being constitutionalists. I want to see what percentage of those people will actually stand up to the government if they try and knock on their door. I'm not saying I don't want people to get into a OK Corral situation of shooting each other and things like that. Absolutely not. But I want to see who actually challenges this shit, or who just goes okay and hands over their weapons. I want to see who these pussies are that are just gonna hand over their firearms. And I promise you, a large population of people will do that. Because a large portion of the population, they don't want conflict. They're not heavily involved in politics. They're not heavily involved in this nonsense. All they want to do is live their life. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with just wanting to go to work, raise your kids, if you have them, buy a house, get a car, pay your bills, watch some sports on TV, play some Xbox, and then, one day you lay down and you don't wake up. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with just, not wanting to be some revolutionary. I don't want to be a revolutionary. I don't want to have to, I didn't even want to do this stuff that I'm doing now, that I'm streaming and I'm talking about this stuff. I had no intentions of ever getting this deep into politics, and I'm not even that deep compared to some other people, basically. I mean, this isn't even a career for me, basically. Like, some people make this make political punditry a whole career. I'm not even doing that as a career. I'm not getting paid for this. Yet, I've been compelled to do this. I've been forced into this, in a way. It was voluntary as well, yes. But in a way, I was kind of forced into it as well, because I felt I had to do something. And while my something is just talking into the void and screaming into the desert here, okay, maybe it's not the most effective choice. But at least I'm trying to do something to influence change in one shape or another. And at the very least, there's a cathartic aspect to it for me. At least I get to rant and rave about political stuff. That frustrates me. Even though it's kind of like screaming into a pillow at the end of the day. But I don't know what the solution is. I don't know what the solution is here, and nobody is offering me anything viable. Like when I see what's happening on Twitter, on social media, what I'm seeing, what's happening on what I'm seeing on social media, and what I'm seeing in the media, and I'm seeing like what if I'm having discussions just day to day with people about stuff. I mean, it's a sad state of affairs in my view. It's a sad state of affairs. So I'm open to suggestions at this rate. I'm open to suggestions at this rate. If someone can offer me a viable solution to fix things in government, and I'm talking viable in the sense that not something that's a long-term nonsensical plan or Q-tard nonsense. I'm talking about real tangible, this is a strategy that conservatives can employ for long-term change in the country and short-term change. Then I'm all ears. I'm open to hear what the solution is, because at this point, all I'm seeing is what can conservatives do long-term to fix things. And when I'm talking long-term, I'm not talking only up until midterms or 2024. Oh, no. The way things are going, for conservatives to make some serious change in like societal changes, It's going to be a long game. It's going to be the same shit that the Democrats tried to pull in the 60s until present. It's going to have to be a 50, 60-year plan. And most likely, I'm not going to live through it. By the time things actually change in favor the way I would want to see things, I'm going to be long dead. But I don't even have faith in that. I don't even have faith in that because conservatives are, it seems like conservatives in politics are just, they're pussies. That's what it seems like to me. You're too cowardly to do shit about anything. You're too scared to do shit about anything. You have assholes like Greg Abbott, for example, like I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, that is talking about platforms like Gab and saying that those platforms are anti-Semitic and it has no place in Texas. Okay, China Abbott. You want to ban platforms like China does? And I think recently Pakistan even banned them. You want to do that? You jerk? Gab is not an anti-Semitic platform. Are there going to be anti-Semites on there or racist people or assholes on there? Sure. Because it's a free speech platform. If you protect free speech the way it's supposed to be, you're going to get all sorts of speech on there. Even speech you don't like. Greg Abbott should grow up. You know, if there's speech that you don't like, suck it up. Grow up. Welcome to the world. The world is full of speech that you don't like. I have heard speech that I don't like all my life. Do I make a mental case out of it? Do I create a trauma out of it? And do I develop a psychological disorder out of it? No. I tell people, you're entitled to your opinion. Thank you. Have a nice day. And I move on with my life. I don't vilify an entire platform. Oh, excuse me. I don't vilify an entire swath of people that may be using that platform. And people like Greg Abbott are just fucking pandering morons. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about conservatives that are not really conservative. If Greg Abbott was a true conservative, you know, if he was a true conservative, he would say, you know, I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that's on that platform, but that platform has a right to exist, and it's a platform that supports free speech, which I support. So how about we try and use that platform as a way to improve upon ourselves? You know, if you look at this platform that is completely open to free speech and you see a lot of these negative elements in your society, then why not try and address that? Why not try and address that? It's kind of like having an alcoholic in your house. You have an alcoholic in your house and you say, you know what? Because you're an alcoholic, we should ban alcohol all around the world. We should just, all alcohol should be banned. That doesn't make any sense at all. Just because one person abuses that or does not know how to control themselves, or they have other issues with alcohol where they just keep, getting inebriated, that doesn't mean that me, for example, that I just enjoy a glass of wine and a meal, for example, now all of a sudden I'm banned from drinking wine during my meal because someone out there is an alcoholic. I mean, how retarded is that? Who thinks like that? Seriously, like who seriously thinks like that and thinks that's a proper logistical flow of, from point A to point B to reach a resolution for a problem? I honestly can't even wrap my head around bullshit like that sometimes. It's difficult for me to think like they do. Excuse me one more time. I gotta blow my nose. Okay. Sorry about that. Sinuses always want to make themselves known during my stream, so um so I mean it's frustrating to me, obviously. I mean, it's not like I'm hiding it or anything like that. I'm not pretending I'm not frustrated by this situation. It's a dumb and sucky situation. I'm not happy about it. I think it's stupid. Um, it's just bad overall in my view. But bad in every sense of the word. We should be at this point in humanity. Okay? At this point in humanity, we should be able to be more evolved, I think. I would like to think that human beings are a bit more evolved than that. Where we don't need to be policing what people say. We don't need to be policing how people think. We don't need to be vilifying people and inferring, motives and intentions. I would like to think that we're, adults in a modern society where you don't have the societal restrictions and structures that you had in the past, that only certain circles could say certain things and act in a certain way, and had any sort of say in what in what a country did or did not do. One of the beautiful things about the inception of the United States is the concept of a representative government. You didn't have that at all. You didn't have that until the United States came along. All you had were a bunch of elites, a conclave of elites that ruled plots of land, essentially. And some plots of lands were as big as a country. But the point is, that's what it was. That's what the monarchy was. Monarchies and feudalism and all that kind of stuff was basically a small handful of people that ran an entire region, and everybody else would just have to suck it up. Now, I mean, some positive stuff came out of that. Like, if you look at Italy and Europe, you had a huge explosion of culture and art and music because it was this whole, it was for dumb reasons, because you had this keeping up with the Jones kind of mentality. It's like, oh, if I'm like the ruler of Florence, and I look at what's happening in Venice, I'm like, oh, they got 5 bell towers. We gotta have 6. Oh, they have a huge cupola. We gotta have like an even bigger one. They have like 30 churches. We gotta have 50. So they would commission artists and musicians. We gotta have the best, the best artists and the best, food and the best art and the best churches and architecture. I mean, it became a cultural space race in the sense, which at the end of the day, long term, there was a huge influence in literature and art and music. But at the end of the day, though, it's not like it really did anything for the people in the sense that it didn't really help them get a job. It didn't help them put food in their mouth. It didn't help them raise their kids. It didn't help their kids get an education. It wasn't very pragmatic at the end of the day. This is why you had also the French Revolution. Because the elites were having all their elite fun, while the poor people were starving. And when things started getting a little better, and people didn't have to worry so much about just sheer survival, they're like, okay, we've had enough of this shit. Pull out the guillotine. Let's go. So, the point that I was trying to make with all that, I kind of digressed here for a moment. The point that I'm trying to make about this is that this is a big problem that we have in our society nowadays, and we don't have people with gumption or spine in government to fix this. And I'm afraid that even at the civilian level, we don't have people with gumption or spine that are willing to fight for this, for their country. And if we have a major conflict, for example, if we have a major conflict, do you think soldiers that are transgender, for example, will be an effective combatants? And it has nothing to do with the fact that they're transgender in that sense. It has everything to do that if you go through transgender, like a sex change operation from, especially specifically from male to female, okay? If you're going from male to female, you're actually losing muscle mass. You're losing testosterone. You're weakening yourself, basically. You're still not you're still not going to be equivalent of a biological woman. But if you're going from male to female and you're basically physically weakening yourself, how does that translate to combat? Like if you're in a combat situation, I don't know if these people that go through that are going to be in a combat situation or not. But I find that concerning no matter what. That's the same kind of concern about having women on the front lines. Now, are there some women that can be effective combatants on the front lines? Sure. But there have been plenty of reports of units and people and guys in the units that talk about how, they feel that they have to go and protect people. Hey, Troll, what about Mark Pugner's time slot? I usually stream between 10:30 and noon anyways. That's my time slot. Is he starting earlier than usual? Because if he's starting earlier than usual, then he's not respecting my time slot. I don't know. We're gonna have to have these time slot wars, I don't know. No, but basically, what it boils down to for me, like I've always said this. I'm a pragmatic guy. I'm a pragmatic guy at the end of the day here. My headphones do not want to stay on my head for some reason. Take another sip of my coffee. All I am saying is when it comes to this transgender stuff in the military, if you're an effective combatant, I don't care what you are. You could be going out on the field standing on your head. If you can go out there and win the war, win the battle, I don't care. But it's not unreasonable. It is not unreasonable for someone to ask the question, Is this individual that's going to be put in a combat situation physically able to do the job, mentally able to do the job? Will they be able to complete their mission, win that battle, win that war? Because the whole point of going into war is to win it. You don't go into war to lose. Okay? And with no helmets. Oh, geez, that's kind of mean. Oh, no. AMZ, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. So no, basically, that's what it is for me. From a purely pragmatic point of view. From a taxpayer point of view, it's kind of like we talked about before. My taxpayer money should not be going to doing anything that has anything to do with just a purely elective surgery. People want to do that sort of stuff to themselves. Fine. I shouldn't have to pay for it. I shouldn't have to pay for abortions. It's not my responsibility. You want to make ridiculous choices in your life? It's on you. It ain't on me. And if I want my taxes to be, if people want my taxes, if governments want my money, all I ask for is representation. There's only two things actually I ask for. There's only two things that I ask for when it comes to taxes. One, you should represent me. Taxation without representation isn't going to work. Two, the other thing is if you're going to tax me, I want accountability. I want to know where my money is going. I don't think these are hard asks. And anybody that says to me that they are hard asks, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. Excuse me. I don't agree with that at all. The whole point of our government is to be representative, in theory. Oh, and I think it was it Pakistan that was getting the gender studies? Like millions and millions of dollars for gender studies? Yeah, I'm paying for all this shit in the world, and they can't even bother to give me the money that they promised for, like, COVID relief, for example. Not that I want that shit. I don't want any COVID relief. I want the country to just be open. I just want the country to go back to the way it was. Open the fucking country. That's it. That's it. That's all I want. Sipping my coffee. That's all I want. I don't need a pittance. I don't need a quarter flinged into my forehead, basically. So this whole thing here, this whole thing right now is just a mess. What's going on? Breakfast? Who has no bail? Because of guns, harassment, and mental states? No bail. End of March is the next hearing. Who are you talking about? Oh, for Gypsy? Gypsy's in jail right now? They didn't give him bail? So for those that may not know what I'm talking about, let me give you a quick primer for those that are not regular bit waivers. Basically, Gypsy Crusader, his name is Paul Miller. It's Miller, right? That's his last name? He was a guy that would dress up as the Joker and other characters and go on Omegle and be like super duper racist and white supremacist. So apparently, he got arrested and he was in possession of firearms, I guess, and he's a felon, I guess, is what I'm understanding. He's an ex-felon, so apparently he's not supposed to own firearms or build firearms or anything like that, and he was in possession of one. So, yeah. Well, see, that's what happens when you try to be edgy, and you try to be, extreme on the internet. So, he had a short-barreled rifle ghost gun, really. I wouldn't mind getting a 3D printer. So I'm just looking at chat. Chat's talking about like if he had a 3D printer because he built a ghost gun. Is that what they're called when you print it, when you do a 3D printed gun? But what are the law? I don't even know what the laws are regarding that, regarding building your own gun with a 3D printer. And then the question is, how many shots can you even get off of that? Are they resistant enough that you can actually pull off more than like multiple shots without it falling apart? Yeah, that kind of technology is a little scary, though. He had a lower 80 receiver, not a 3D printer. Okay. I don't know what a lower 80 receiver is. Actually, I'm getting educated here today on my stream. What is a lower 80 receiver? Excuse my ignorance on that one. Oh, actually, speaking of interesting things, did you know that I actually had some direct interaction with Milo Yiannopoulos yesterday? I know. It was unintended because I saw a post of his and I just made a comment on his Telegram because he's on Telegram, and I was like, well, let me check out his Telegram thread real quick, and then I was just gonna remove it. He posted something, and I just made a quick comment about Catholicism, and it turned into this whole shitstorm where everybody started, having this huge discussion about Catholicism versus radical traditionalists, SSPX, all this kind of stuff. And Milo himself replied a couple times to my messages, and he wasn't belligerent with me or anything like that. It was actually his replies. I didn't agree with his replies, but it was just a nice conversation, like a little bit of a back and forth between me and him. I was surprised he actually replied to anything of mine. It's actually kind of nice that you can join someone's Telegram thread, for example, whoever it may be. If any celebrity or any influencer, any YouTuber or anything like that, they create a Telegram and they can reply directly to you. It's kind of a nice thing. And I know you kind of had that with Twitter, and you kind of do have that with Twitter, but I don't know. It kind of felt more personable. It was kind of nicer to me for some reason. So, MZ, apparently he's not gay anymore. Nope, he is ex-gay now and sodomy free, according to him. So you can buy all the parts of the gun without a background check from a rifle except the receiver. In some states, you can buy a partially built receiver without a background check. From there, you can build the whole gun without ever getting a background check. And 80% lower is a receiver that is missing some of the parts holes and is sold without a serial number. The end user can drill holes, assemble the remaining 20%. Ah, I see. Okay. I honestly don't know a whole lot about building guns. I'm not a gun nut by any stretch of the imagination. I'm a firm supporter of the Second Amendment, though. Whether you own a gun or not, I feel that the Second Amendment is an important thing constitutionally. I think that it is a good thing. I imagine you would have to NNOB. I mean, NNOB is saying that you still need to have some background in gunsmithing if you want it to be functional. Agreed. Absolutely, it would make sense to me. Yeah, I know what you mean, MZ. he says that. I'm gonna try and take him at face value, where he says he's now like an ardent Catholic. He's consecrated himself to Saint Joseph. And he's trying to, I guess he's trying to turn a leaf on his life. So yeah, I mean that's the problem. I'm kind of going between two conversations here, but let's stick to the gun thing from moving forward here. I mean, if he was in possession of this stuff that is illegal, it is very, 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 very dumb of him to actually do what he does and to garner all this attention onto himself. Very dumb. Why would you even do that? Why would you even do that? I don't know why, but that gif, that emote of Magna Zero with the guns is just funny. I'm sorry, that's really dumb of Gypsy Crusader to do that. It's I don't understand. I don't understand these people. Sometimes it's like that other guy, whatever his face was, TJ something or some other, who was in England of all places, and he's doing all this kind of stuff too. And of course they arrested him in the UK because you can't even post a mean tweet in the UK. And he's doing all this racist and anti-Semitic stuff on Omegle, of course. Of course he's gonna get arrested. But in the case of Gypsy Crusader, it's just dumb. It's just really dumb. It just surprises me that people don't think through what they're doing, I guess. I don't know. I mean, there is also the argument that if he's just doing this stupid shit online, it's just stupid shit online. It doesn't translate to anything real life. He's seriously facing 30 years. Holy shit. Wow. Defense, and there's a hint from the feds that they may have more to charge him with. Jeez. Good lord. That's dumb. 30 years for me. Oh, jeez. Yeah, you know. Oh, jeez. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I feel kind of bad for him. He said that? How do you know he said that? Is there some transcript? He said that he said he was building a rifle for an upcoming civil war. He even took the Ghost SBR to a public gun range. Why would he do that? You want to fire that stuff? Go out into the forest. What the hell's the matter with him? Where are you getting all this information though about him, about the proceedings? Is this just a matter of public record? He applied for a concealed permit as a felon. Yeah, of course he's gonna get denied. You won't even get just that alone. You won't get past the. Oh, it was a streamed hearing. Why am I not notified of this shit? Oh my god. I missed a live hearing? Really? Oh. Gosh darn it. Dang it, I need to hang around. Yeah, I am the gay. I I am out of the loop. I'm always the last to know. You were able to get out. You guys are just fucking with me now. You can't call into a hearing. But yes, I'm definitely out of the loop. I am definitely out of the loop, and I'm definitely always the last to know. And listen only mode, okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to hang around a. Oh, you're able to just call in and listen. Gotcha. Okay. Ooh, thank you for the link. I'm gonna check it out. Cool. Interesting. The prosecutor is a junkyard dog. Oh boy. Well, yeah. I mean, when it comes to gun stuff, when you're in the courts, I mean, even in Florida, you're gonna have really aggressive prosecution, and you're gonna have a really aggressive judge. You're gonna have a really aggressive everything. Gypsy is a mess, and he he's definitely putting himself in a bad situation, I feel. Yeah, let's keep the Pepes going. I'll do that too. 1 second. There we go. Yeah, let's keep that train going. All right. Well, basically, at this point, there's not a whole lot left in the stream that I would want to talk about. So that's the wrong one, MZ. What are you doing? uh, anyways, nah, I'm just messing with you. I think I'm gonna end the stream here because I gotta grab lunch and I got stuff I gotta take care of. So before I take off, though, if you like the stream, if you like listening to me rant and rave and just cuss up a storm, he was threatening a person. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, unless he can bring something to them that's useful for them. Gypsy Docs J-Danks? Really? I had no idea. But yeah, I don't know. Plea deals, it really depends. It really depends. There's a lot of stuff that can happen for plea deals and such. Who knows? But if you like listening to the stream, if you like listening to me just rant and rave and cuss up a storm and be pissed off, hey, consider smashing a like on the videos. Consider subscribing, hitting the notification bells. And hell, if you want to buy me a coffee or send me a crypto, I'd appreciate that, But But hey, the best thing for me is growth. I've said this many times. Follow me on Telegram. I need people to follow me on Telegram and subscribe. I need people to follow me on all the platforms that I'm on, because I don't know how long I'm going to be on many of these platforms. I don't know how long I'm going to be on Twitter. Twitter may just ban me tomorrow, even today. Who knows? So follow me on different platforms that I'm on. I'm on Twitter, Gab, Minds, Telegram, Float.app. Follow me on all those platforms, and also on all the video platforms, DLive, YouTube, whatever your preference is, Twitch, Bitwave, whatever. So follow me, subscribe, support if you can. I'd appreciate it. And we will see you tomorrow. I will try to be there on time, and I'm going to try, like I said before, I've said this in other streams, that I'm trying to figure out a good time slot, because I don't know if this time slot works for me anymore, and I'm trying to figure out what would be the best way to continue forward doing the stream if I want to keep doing it. So I'm open to suggestions. Just let me know what you guys think, what you think would be a good time for everybody for me to stream. And it is what it is, and we'll see what we can do. But have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, and remember, kids, don't be complacent.